Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now. Folks, sit tight because what I'm about to tell you is pretty wild. Rumors are swirling around Vita Vea, the dominant defensive tackle for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it looks like there's a real possibility he might be heading to the Washington Commanders. And honestly, this could be one of those game-changing moves that redefines the entire NFC East and propels Washington back into serious Super Bowl contention. No joke. Right now, the Bucs are struggling. They're sitting at 4-7, which for a team that's been competitive in recent seasons is a massive letdown. Their defense, which has always been a strength, is leaking points, giving up an average of 27, 6 points per game. That's not just a small dip, it's a significant drop from their usual standards, and part of the reason is their cap situation. Tampa has around $13 million in free cap space, but they're also eyeing extensions for players like Chris Godwin. Plus, they're trying to rebuild their offensive line, which means they're in a bit of a cap crunch and looking for ways to shed some salary. Sources close to the situation suggest that Tampa might be open to trading Vita Vea, especially if they can get a third-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft in return. That's a pretty reasonable price for a player like Vea, who's not only a space eater in the middle but also a true run stopper. Tampa's front office appears to be prioritizing adding draft capital to rebuild their roster long-term, particularly on the edge and in the secondary, which are areas they've been focusing on during this season. Now, let's talk about Vea himself. The guy is a physical freak. Drafted back in 2018, he's been a cornerstone of Tampa's defense ever since. At 6'4", around 340 pounds, Vea is a leviathan, a true force of nature on the interior line. His career stats speak volumes. Over his 8 seasons, he's accumulated 280 solo tackles, 150 assists, and an impressive 28 sacks. But it's not just about the numbers, it's about the impact he has on the game. Vea's ability to collapse the pocket, eat up space, and disrupt runs is second to none. His pressures, totaling around 300 across his career, are a nightmare for offensive lines. And his run defense grade consistently hovers around the high 80s, which is elite by NFL standards. In 2024, Vea has been exceptional again, sporting a PFF grade of 89.0 and a run-stop percentage of 38%. He's been able to command double teams at a rate of about 60%, which opens up opportunities for his teammates to make plays. His ability to generate pressures, averaging around 4 or 5 per game, combined with his run-stopping prowess, makes him a true game-changer. Tampa's defense, which was struggling earlier in the season, actually saw improvements when Vea was on the field. His presence alone elevates the entire run defense, making opponents think twice before running to his side. But why would Tampa be willing to part ways with such a valuable player? Well, besides the cap issues and their focus on rebuilding, there's also the fact that they're looking to bolster their pass rush and secondary with younger, more cost-effective players. They've already been rebuilding their offensive line, and with the looming extension for Godwin, they need to free up some cap space. The team's management recognizes they're in a bit of a rebuild phase, and trading Vea now could net them a solid draft pick, which they need to restock the roster. So what does this mean for the Commanders? Well, if Washington manages to acquire Vita Vea, it would be a monumental upgrade for their defensive front. As it stands, Washington's interior defensive line has been solid, but not enough to dominate consistently against the best offensive lines in the league. Adding Vea to a front seven that already includes players like Jonathan Allen and Darren Payne could be the missing piece. Think about it. Vea and Allen commanding the middle, plugging gaps, and creating chaos for opposing quarterbacks. The potential for interior pressure would skyrocket. This move would also have a ripple effect. For instance, it would significantly improve Washington's run defense, which has been decent but could be better. Vea's presence would boost the overall efficiency of the run-stopping efforts, possibly reducing the yards per carry allowed, and making it much tougher for opponents to establish a ground game. And let's not forget, Vea's ability to collapse the pocket would also help generate more interior sacks. which the Commanders desperately need to complement their outside rushers. Looking at the bigger picture, this trade could be a catalyst for Washington's entire defensive identity. With V in the trenches, the Commanders could shift from a decent defense to a top-tier one, capable of shutting down the run and pressuring the quarterback relentlessly. That kind of dominance could elevate the team's chances not only to make the playoffs, but to compete seriously in the postseason and aim even higher, perhaps a deep run in the playoffs or even a Super Bowl push. Now, some analysts and insiders like Adam Schefter have mentioned that Tampa has some premium defensive tackles available, but V stands out because of his size, skill set, and consistency. Meanwhile, other reports, like from Rossini, point out that Tampa is in the midst of rebuilding their offensive line, which might make them more inclined to trade V to get younger talent or draft capital that can help them in future seasons. From Washington's perspective, the benefits are clear. V's addition would bring a new dimension of physicality and dominance to their defensive front. His ability to occupy multiple blockers, generate pressures, and stop the run would elevate not just the defensive line, but the entire defense. That, in turn, would give more freedom to the secondary to play tighter coverage, knowing that the run game is stifled and the quarterback is under constant pressure. If this trade happens, it could be a real turning point for the Commanders. It's not just about adding a star, it's about reshaping their defensive identity. A V-led interior line would make Washington a nightmare for any offense, especially in critical moments like third downs, red zone situations, and late-game scenarios. Imagine the confidence this would give the coaching staff to dial up aggressive blitz packages, knowing that V can eat up the interior and collapse the pocket from the inside out. And let's talk about the potential impact on the scoreboard. Washington's points allowed per game currently sit at around 26.9, which isn't terrible but certainly leaves room for improvement. With V anchoring the middle, expect those numbers to drop significantly, maybe down to around 21 points per game or even less. That kind of improvement could be the difference between just sneaking into the playoffs and making a deep postseason run. And in the playoffs, the ability to control the line of scrimmage is often what separates the contenders from the pretenders. Looking ahead to the Super Bowl LXI, the betting odds are still long for Washington, with some estimates placing their chances at around plus 100, a long shot for sure. But if they land V and continue to build around their core, those odds could shorten dramatically. Think about the impact of a dominant interior defense paired with a solid offense. It's a formula that's worked many times before, from the Chiefs to the Eagles, and it can work for Washington too. All in all, this potential V trade is one of those moves that could define a franchise's direction for years to come. It's about more than just a player. It's about sending a message that Washington is serious about competing at the highest level. The defense, already a strength, would become a fortress, and the offense would get more opportunities to shine because opponents would be forced to respect that interior line like never before. So, Commanders fans, keep your eyes peeled. This isn't just a rumor, it's a possibility that could reshape our team's future. We're talking about a guy who, when healthy, is one of the best at what he does, and adding him would be a statement to the entire league. Imagine the roar at FedEx Field if this move goes down, a true sign that Washington isn't just building for the now, but for a real shot at dominating the NFC East and beyond. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Washington Commanders. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news.